It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science game show here in the Prince George's County Public Schools, where we test scientific IQs. Play along and test your own. Today, 2 outstanding elementary schools playing our game. Let's meet them right now. First, from Laurel Elementary, would you say hello to Sean Shackelford, Mustafa Ali, and Jose Guevara. And from Vansville Elementary, here they are, Jasmine Ives, Ethan Vanud, and Summer Jeffrey. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones are worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking, talented teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to the semifinals in our elementary competition. Let's make sure everything works before we start. Let's go to the red team, and Mustafa, try that buzzer for me. Thank you, young man. Good luck to you and to Sean and to Jose and Vansville. Ethan, would you try the green team's buzzer? It looks like it is in good working order. Good luck to you, to Summer, and to Jasmine. Congratulations, teams. Your schools picked you to represent, and you're just wonderful ambassadors. We're just happy to have you here. You should be very proud of yourselves because we're proud of you. Let's have a good game, all right? May the better team win. Laurel, Vansville, we go alphabetically, so L before V. So Laurel and Mustafa, you get to start. Give me a category and a number. Everybody plays.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, there are champion trees in this country. In order to become a champion tree, they measure the height, they measure the size of the crown, and they measure the circumference of this part of the tree. Vansville.
Trunk.
The trunk, that's right, the circumference. How wide it is, how far around it is of the tree. That's it. Nice going. Go, Ethan.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, when you go home, your family's there. Your mother, your father, your grandmother, your siblings. Your family, because you share what 2 body parts? They're my what? Mustafa?
Blood and flesh.
You got that. That's my flesh and blood. Thank you, Sean. That's the way to play it. Nice assist there. Go red.
Zoo parade for 5, please.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, this mammal that naturally wears a black mask is one of the guardians of the galaxy. That is Laurel.
Raccoon.
That's right, Rocket Raccoon with his laser pistols and his heavy weaponry. Go red.
Science potpourri for 5, please.
Science potpourri for 5 points. Teams, sometimes people throw away their ice cream. Imagine that, because it gets that fuzz on. It has an oxymoronic name, that fuzz. They call it freezer what? Laurel?
Pass it over to Sean.
Sean?
It's called freezer burn.
It is indeed freezer burn. It's like, how can something be frozen and burning at the same time? That's why we call it an oxymoron. Nice playing there, Sean. Go red.
Green things for 5, please.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, usually a couple days after Halloween, it's time to chuck these big orange gourds, usually putting them on a catapult. Vansville.
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins. It's time to chuck those pumpkins. Oh, isn't it neat when they go splat at the other end? It's just great. Go, green. Nice answer. 65 all. Tie.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, there are reports that the ISIL fighters in the Mideast are using this deadly gas on people, the same gas that is a disinfectant that we use to clean out our swimming pools. Laurel.
Chlorine.
Chlorine gas, yes indeed. And of course it's much diluted when we use it as a disinfectant, but as a weapon of war it should never be used. Go, red.
Dateline science for 5, please.
Dateline science for 5 points. Ooh, this is a disgusting question. Instead of getting transplants of this waste material to help cure infections in the gut, now they're putting this stuff, this waste, in pills that you can take. What is this stuff that we're talking about? Feces. Feces. They're actually using that to transplant. Some people have infections in their lower intestines. The only way to cure it, it seems, is to get a transplant of someone else's feces. That is just disgusting. Go, red.
Zuparade for 10, please.
Zuparade for 10 points. Teams, MRSA, which is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, is a disease that is passed on to humans, we think, from these mammals known as the ships of the desert. Laurel.
Camel.
Camels, yes, the camels, the ship of the desert. They don't have to drink and they carry people. They've got those long eyelashes. They can close their nostrils. They're perfectly adapted for life in the desert. All right, go, Laurel.
Science potpourri for 10, please.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, the modern versions of these iconic Dutch structures that generate electricity are proving deadly to birds and bats that fly into their veins. Laurel.
Things called the wires.
What you think, red team?
Power lines.
Not power lines. Good try. These iconic Dutch structures that generate energy. The modern versions of them are proving deadly to bats and birds that fly into their veins.
Windmills?
Windmills, that's right, exactly. They're called vanes or panes. The modern ones turn so fast and the birds fly into them, and many of them are being killed. All right, 75 to 80, green team advantage. Ethan?
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. All right, let's see if you're keeping up with the news. This technology is not named because there is some problem with the dentist, but because of an ancient Viking king that united all of Scandinavia. This technology is what lets all of our wireless devices talk to each other. Vansville.
Wi-Fi?
Not Wi-Fi. The name of the technology is named for a Viking king that united Scandinavia, not because there was some dental problem. What's the name of that technology? You heard the word dental, which has something to do with teeth. It's Bluetooth technology that we're talking about. Buzzer is rung. End of the first round. Our score right now, Laurel 80, Vansville 75. We'll be back with more Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't go away.
Let's be real. There are days when every mom wants to tell her kids to take a hike.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Because when you take us hiking,
Or let us run outside,
acting silly,
getting dirty,
and helping in the garden,
you're not only making your day better,
you're making our lives healthier and happier.
playing outside is not only fun,
It helps us feel our best inside and out.
so next time when Mom wants you to take a hike,
Tell her to go to beoutthere.org to find fun ideas for helping kids enjoy the great outdoors.
let's be honest, it's not bad for the parents either.
They're so cute at this age. Be out there!
Welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today. Thank you for spending part of your time with us. 6 young people playing our game, 5 of them for the first time ever. 1 is returning. Let's find out a little bit about them and their schools. Let's go over to Laurel first. And Mustafa, the veteran among the group here. Last year a 4th grader, this year a 5th grader. Mustafa, good to have you back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're a good player. You're a safety patrol, and we can tell you're happy to be here. You have a zest for the game. Tell me about your school. Who's your principal out there at Laurel Elementary?
My principal is Miss Melinda Lee.
Wonderful. And did you have some sponsors on your team?
My sponsors were Miss Blake and Miss Walker.
Wonderful. And we'll bring them out in a few moments. And there are no alternates on your team, correct?
No.
It's just the 3 of you guys here. What's the best thing about Laurel Elementary? When you go home, when you talk to people, when you brag, what do you brag about, Mustafa? Laurel Elementary does what?
I brag about how the teachers are really nice unless you don't work, and then they can get a little strict. But if you stay on their good side, then you can do really good, and
And that's the way they should be, because, it's kind of a business and they're looking out for you. They want you to be disciplined so you can be better prepared for life. So, boy, without great teachers, you don't have a school. They make the school, they and you. One day, what do you want to do, Mustafa?
I want to become a surgeon or maybe a chef.
Yeah, and he makes a mean mac and cheese, he tells us. One of these times you're going to bring us a sample, right?
Probably.
Probably, we hope so. Thanks, Mustafa. Jose, nice to have you here. First time, you're a 4th grader, right? And you're a safety patrol. Where do you patrol at the school?
I patrol. I take pre-K. I take the littlest kids, and I patrol. And we have tons of meetings, and I'm glad to be a patrol.
Yeah. Do they listen to you?
Yes.
You got that badge of authority on, right? So you've got some responsibility. Tell me what you hope to do someday, Jose.
I want to be a dentist.
A dentist, yeah. Do you have a dentist now that you really like?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you told me earlier you want to help people in your family by being a great dentist. I think that's just wonderful. What do you do in your spare time?
I play soccer and basketball.
Basketball, and you do that in your neighborhood with your friends. That's just great. Exercise, and you're also a good student. You got it all going. You're doing the right stuff. Sean, you're amazing. We started out, you knew all these answers. How do you know so much science?
Well, my grandma's a teacher, and so she encourages me to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, boy, I bet your grandmother's proud of you, too. You're doing just what she wants you to do. And what do you want to do eventually?
Be a lawyer.
Wow, what? Are you good at arguing?
Yes. And I get paid for doing something I love, talking.
Ah, that's wonderful. And you're thinking the right thing. If you like to talk, find something where people are going to pay you to do it. Where you're doing all the right things, so you're saying all the right things. You keep it up in the second half. Vansville, nice to have you guys here. All here for the first time. And Ethan, tell us about Vansville. Who's your principal?
Mr. Tom Smith.
Mr. Tom Smith, and he's been there for a number of years. I remember when Vansville first opened. It's not that old a school.
No.
And you're a green school. You're LEED certified. You've got geothermal heat in there and wonderful windows. You're living in a science experiment over there. Tell me who your sponsor is.
Miss Brown.
Miss Brown, and this is her first year. I know she really is proud of you guys and has worked with you. And you have an alternate. Who's your alternate?
Justin Brent.
And we'll bring him out with Miss Brown in a few moments. I'll ask you what I asked Mustafa. Best thing about Vansville?
Well, the best thing is that it's a green school, so we don't emit any pollution, and also we don't pay that much for heating or cooling.
Absolutely, and that's important. Economy is important, and if you're doing something good for the environment, you can feel good about yourself. That's a great answer. Thanks, Ethan. Tell me what you want to do as a career.
I want to be a pediatric cardiosurgeon.
Yeah, and you got interested in that because?
I got interested in that because I heard about Dr. Ben Carson, the famous pediatric neurosurgeon.
Absolutely.
And I heard about him saving lives, and I too wanted to save lives like him.
Everybody wants to make an impact in life, and what better way than to do that to save other people's lives? Boy, that's a great career. And you're so well spoken, Ethan. You keep up your good work. Nice to have you here today. And Summer, tell us about yourself. I know you like to read as well, don't you? What do you like to read? What kind of books?
Well, I like to read Harry Potter and Geronimo Stilton books.
Yeah, and I know Jasmine likes Harry Potter books as well. Do you guys share books sometimes? Are you friends off camera?
Yeah.
I can tell. What do you want to do professionally someday, Summer?
Well, I want to be either a computer expert or architect because I really like math and science, and I like designing things.
Sounds like all the things you like could blend together in an architect career, because you got to be creative. You know, you see things that other people don't see in your mind, and somehow you make them happen. I think that's wonderful. Good luck to you. And Jasmine, nice to have you here today. Why'd you want to be on the Science Bowl show?
Well, my sister was on it, and I thought it was really cool and interesting.
Yeah, and your sister was here just last year, and here you are following in her footsteps, and I know she's going to be watching you today. Maybe you'll do even better than she did. How about that? A little sibling rivalry going on there. What do you want to do someday?
I want to go into a math or science job.
Wonderful. And this is a good way to advance that career by being on Science Bowl, and you're doing a nice job so far. Keep it up. Let's get back to our game. 75 for Vansville, 80 for Laurel. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from the green team. So Ethan, start us out.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, we know that there is a north and south geographic pole, but the reason that a compass points to north is because it's not the geographic pole, but what other poles that we have at both ends of the earth. Vansville.
The magnetic poles.
Yes, indeed. The north magnetic pole and the south magnetic pole. Absolutely right, in addition to the geographic one. Nice answer. With that, you go into a 5-point lead. Vansville.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, we know that identifiers include fingerprints, DNA fingerprints, and today especially they can identify you by scanning what colored part of your eye. What colored part of your eye can be scanned for identification purposes, Laurel?
The cornea?
Not the cornea. Good try. What is the colored part of the eye that can be scanned to identify who you are, Vansville?
Pupil.
No, the iris, the colored part that surrounds the pupil. In fact, some of our iPhones and iPods eventually, just by looking at them, will be able to open based on that pattern. Go green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, a solar eclipse takes place only when the moon is in what phase? Solar eclipse only takes place when the moon is in what phase? You have to know the phases of the moon. Give me the one. Mustafa.
Full moon.
Not full moon. Good try. What phase of the moon has to be there when the solar eclipse occurs?
New moon.
Again?
New moon.
New moon. Absolutely right. Good comeback. Good. Green.
Zooparade for 15.
Zooparade for 15 points. It's a multiple choice question. Teams, you're a lot of you are readers. Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick about the great white whale. Was that great white whale a blue whale, a killer whale, or a sperm whale? Which of those three, Laurel?
Sperm whale.
Yeah, he was a big sperm whale. And remember, Captain Ahab was out there, and he got his comeuppance, didn't he? Go red.
Zooparade for 20, please.
Zooparade for 20 points. Teams, a new dinosaur has been discovered. And one paleontologist said it looks like a mix of Jar Jar Binks and Barney. It is actually the predecessor, this dinosaur, to what modern-day flightless bird that has the biggest eyes of any land animal? Laurel.
Ostrich.
Yes, good. Jose, watch and listen when I'm talking, okay? Listen to the clues. Go red.
May I get Dateline Science for 10, please?
Dateline Science for 10 points. Teams, boy, this is good news. The U.S. government says that expected life expectancy here in the United States is 40 years, which is how many years that we can expect to live. What are 40? Correct answer, a score is 20, so 40 is 80. Almost 80, 78.8. Go red.
Science potpourri for 15, please.
Science potpourri for 15 points. Teams, if you're reading the ingredients on a label on side of your food and it says hydrolyzed vegetable protein, know that that is masquerading as what allergen found in wheat that people are now allergic to. Laurel?
Gluten.
Gluten. That's it. Good. Red.
Body systems for 15.
Body system for 15, please.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, listen carefully. People who exercise a lot are into CrossFit exercise. Sometimes they do it to the extreme, and they suffer from a condition called rhabdomyolysis. I don't expect you to know that. That's when your muscles are so worn out that they start to break down. They release a substance that then clogs up what paired organs that you have that filter your blood. Laurel?
Kidneys.
Yes, good, go.
Green things for 15, please.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, the fruit on corn plants and wheat plants and oat plants and millet are known as these G-initialed parts of the plant that oftentimes are found in cereals like one called the Great what? Laurel.
Grains.
Grains, yes, those are all the great grains. Sean knew that. Nicely done, young man. Go red.
Let's get physical for 15, please.
Get physical for 15 points. Teams, we know the Richter scale measures the intensity of earthquakes, but the VEI scale measures the intensity of volcanic activity. Ethan?
Eruption.
I'm sorry?
Eruption.
Eruption? No, not eruption. VEI is an acronym the V stands for volcano, I stands for index, but the E stands for what process that is linked to TNT? It's when the volcano does what, Laurel?
Explosion.
Explosion. It's the volcanic explosive index. How much ash is released during an eruption? Good. Red.
Body systems for 20. Science potpourri for 20, please.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Teams, people that work in hospitals that are working with Ebola patients are wearing these padded uniforms to protect them from the virus. Those padded uniforms have what same name as the outer covering found on insects and crabs? Laurel?
Exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton, yes, good. Red.
Dateline science for 20, please.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, the second president of the National Geographic Society was this man who invented the telephone.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Laurel.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Yes, Alexander Graham Bell. Good. Next. Red. Thank you, Jose.
Body systems for 20, please.
Body systems for 20 points. Multiple choice question. Teams, you're in the gym. You're working on your shoulder muscles. So you're working on your delts, your quads, or your lats. Your shoulder muscles, delts, quads, or lats. Laurel.
Lats?
Not your lats. Delts, quads, or lats if you're in the gym working on your shoulder muscles.
Quads.
The one neither of you chose, the delts, the deltoids. Go red.
Green things for 20, please.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, multiple choice question. If you know what kelp is, you'll know that it is a mesophytic, xerophytic, or hydrophytic plant. Laurel.
Mesophytic?
Not mesophytic. If you know what kelp is, you'll know that it is mesophytic, xerophytic, or hydrophytic.
Hydrophytic?
Hydrophytic, because hydro is the prefix meaning water, and kelp, of course, is an algae. All the toughest questions left. Still, anybody's game. 215, 125, advantage green. You got your work cut out. Let's go, Ethan.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25 points. Teams, I want you to look at the monitor, please, for this question. Visual question. This cute little thing is an antelope squirrel. It is one of the only mammals that both hibernates and estivates, meaning it does what? Two things. Laurel. What you think? It both hibernates and estivates.
It sleeps through the winter and lays eggs?
No, good try. It both hibernates and estivates, this antelope squirrel, meaning it does what? One of the few animals that does it.
It sleeps in the winter and eats too.
It sleeps in the winter and it sleeps in the summer when it gets too hot and dry and there's nothing to eat. Go green.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points, teams. When you eat a piece of fruit, if it's a pear or an apple or an orange, what you're really eating is a ripened version of this O-initialed female plant part filled with seeds. Laurel. Yes, sir.
We don't have an answer.
Okay. What O-initialed female plant part is what you're eating, a ripened version of that filled with seeds? The ovary. It is a ripened ovary. Try again, green.
Let's get physical for 25.
And physical for 25 points. All right, teams. Nina Pham, the nurse in Dallas who contracted Ebola, was put into quarantine. Then they went to her apartment and they sanitized it with a fog of a chemical that we used to clean out our cuts with the formula H2. Laurel?
H2O.
No, not H2O. Vansville, H2O2 is the formula for this substance that they fogged her apartment with. It's the same disinfectant you can put on a cut to clean it. It bubbles up.
Alcohol?
Hydrogen peroxide was the answer. And the buzzer has sounded. It looks like Laurel is moving on in the competition. We'll be back with a wrap-up in a moment. Don't go away.
How far would you go to help someone? Would you go to the end of your driveway? Would you cross a street? Would you cross an ocean? Would you go if you could use your knowledge to teach someone? And in the process, maybe learn something yourself. Life is calling. How far will you go? Peace Corps.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Thanks for being here today. 6 outstanding young people. We are proud of all of them. One of these teams is moving on, though. Our final tally today is Vansville 125, Laurel 215. Jose and Mustafa and Sean, congratulations, Miss Blake. I know you're happy about this. We're going to see you in the next round. Vansville, you played a terrific game. Let's see some big smiles over there. Jasmine, Ethan, Summer. Miss Brown, thank you for doing what you did. Great debut performance here. And Justin, I hope you come back and play as well, our alternate. We'll see you next time, too, on the Science Bowl. Bye-bye.